The lights were absolutely blinding. The stakes couldn't be higher, and honestly, the narrative felt completely pre-written. Two absolute giants of global football colliding on the grandest stage of them all. But, football doesn't really care about scripts. It cares about execution. Today we're breaking down a final that completely defied expectations, shattered records, and ultimately crowned a historic champion. Spain are World Cup winners. Let's get right into this complete final recap.
This was supposed to be Messi's fairy tale ending. I mean, that was the headline, right? The massive expectation and the global sentiment leading right up to kickoff. The stage was seemingly set for the ultimate crowning achievement of a legendary career. But instead, it became Spain's story. It was the night they sealed their second World Cup title, battling through a grueling, completely scoreless 90 minutes before finally triumphing in extra time. Talk about flipping the script.
Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Here's exactly how this match flowed. First up, the 90-minute deadlock. Then, the massive turning point. Next, the sheer tension of extra time. And finally, that historic finish.
Part 1, the 90-minute deadlock, and an absolute display of tactical mastery.
Look, Spain didn't just hold the ball here. They literally weaponized possession. Their relentless high press established an absolute stranglehold on the game. Every single time Argentina tried to build from the back, boom, a wall of red jerseys just suffocated the space. And the result of all that pressure? Zero. For 90 straight minutes, Argentina went without registering a single shot on goal. In a World Cup final, Spain's discipline kept one of the world's most potent attacks completely off the stat sheet.
But hey, a dominant defense doesn't automatically win you the game if you can't find the back of the net yourself. And despite Spain's total control, they found themselves intensely frustrated by the man between the sticks. Emiliano Martinez was an absolute wall. The defining moment of normal time actually came with the very last kick, a blistering Lamine Yamal free kick that was destined for the top corner. But Martinez, he produced a crucial, sprawling save, denying Spain at the death and dragging this scoreless, agonizingly tense final into the high-wire act of extra time.
Which brings us to Part 2, the turning point, and some serious stoppage time chaos.
Just as everyone in the stadium braced for extra time, the whole complexion of the final fractured in seconds. We went from a pure tactical deadlock at 90 minutes straight into Martinez's heart-stopping save. The adrenaline is spiking out there on the pitch, and then literally before the whistle can even blow to signal the end of regular time, disaster strikes for Argentina.
Enzo Fernandez, who was already sitting on a yellow, goes in dangerously and frankly recklessly on Pau Cubarsí. The challenge sends the young Spanish defender flying. It's a blatant second yellow, automatic red. So suddenly, an already toothless Argentina faces an absolute nightmare scenario. 30 minutes of extra time, down to 10 men, against the Spanish team that is practically built to exploit open space.
Part 3, extra time, tension, and Martinez's heroics.
Down a man, Argentina really has no choice but to dig trenches on the edge of their own penalty area. It becomes this gritty, desperate survival mission. Spain smells blood, but they meet a brick wall. The 11. Now, what's really interesting here is that Martinez made a World Cup final record of 8 saves in normal time, finishing with 11 total interventions. He was single-handedly keeping that 10-man squad alive against wave after relentless wave of red.
And finally, Part 4, the historic finish in the 106th minute.
At this point, legs are heavy, lungs are burning, and the margin for error is absolutely zero. But Spain executes with just breathtaking precision. Let's map this out. First, Pedro Porro whips a vicious curling cross from the right flank. Second, Nico Williams shows incredible awareness, cushioning a perfectly placed header directly into the path of the run. And finally, substitute Ferran Torres hammers it home from point-blank range. 1-0 Spain. It was a surgical strike that completely tore through the Argentine defense, the exact goal that decided the World Cup.
You could instantly feel the emotional weight of that strike. It was palpable. In the post-match celebrations, an exhausted but completely elated Ferran Torres captured the magnitude of the victory perfectly. He said, "This goal belongs to 47 million people, not just the 26 players on the squad." What a quote. It was a culmination of national hope, tactical brilliance, and just sheer willpower, delivered when the pressure was at its absolute peak.
When the dust finally settled, the contrast between the two sides was just stark. On one side, you had Lionel Messi's quiet finale, just 1 shot and 54 touches, thoroughly neutralized by the Spanish setup. And on the other side, historic dominance. Spain conceded just 1 single goal across the entire 8-match tournament.
That's the fewest ever for a champion, by the way, and they were led by Luis de la Fuente, who at 65 years old became the oldest head coach to ever lift the trophy. It was a complete triumph of system, discipline, and flawless execution.
So, as the confetti settles and Spain's name is etched into history for the second time, we really have to look back at the defining margins of this match. I'll leave you with this. Was it ultimately Argentina's lack of discipline, specifically that reckless red card, that cost them the ultimate prize? Or is that missing the point? Was it simply a case of Spain being unequivocally the better, more dominant team across the entire tournament? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get the debate going. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.